All right, guys. So I'm here with Jay from Montana, and we just bought a quadplex from him about a week or no, actually, it was a couple days ago. So, Jay, thanks for being with us. If you wouldn't mind, Jay, just tell us a little bit about you live out of town, you own a property in Newport Richey. What made you decide not to go the traditional route, list with a realtor, go through the normal motions on that?
Well, as you said, yeah, we do live in Montana most of the year, but we are down in Florida quite a bit, and we have other properties as well in Florida. But I looked at the possibility of listing this property, and it just seemed like it would take longer, and it would be there's no guarantees. Well, there isn't any guarantee with any of it, but especially with listing it, and just wasn't quite sure just of that process. And I've done that in the past, listed properties, and but we do receive a lot of postcards and things like that in the mail, telephone calls, text messages from people wanting to buy properties that we have. And I just thought, well, let's try that route this time. And was prepared to lower the price a bit because of not having to pay a commission to a realtor, and the fact that the closing costs would all be paid. And that helped us to be willing to lower the price. And so I think that made it a win-win for you guys, and that you got you weren't paying a full retail whatever
Sure.
price for a property. And for us it was a way to just get the process done quickly with some assurance of knowing where we were going to be within just a few weeks, versus we may have to wait several months in order to sell a property through a realtor, and then who knows what we would get for it. So
Sure.
that's why we ended up doing that.
So it's interesting because your property is, I think a lot of people think that when you talk to these cash buyers, that we only buy the like most distressed, properties. They're in horrible condition, tenants aren't paying. In your case, your property is well taken care of. You've got tenants that are happy. So it's kind of good to see that we can buy from all ends of the spectrum. So let's fast forward. So you've decided, okay, I don't want to list with a realtor. I don't want to go through the motions of the uncertainty of how long it may take or not take to sell. So then you're getting postcards in the mail. You can go on Google and Google we buy houses cash and get a gazillion companies. So what was your experience like? How did that work out for you?
Well, as I mentioned, we had every day like a lot of people, in Florida especially, not as much in Montana, but here we have people that are constantly calling, texting, sending postcards, letters, every day, 4 or 5 inquiries. And so what I did when I knew I was ready to sell this property, I assembled not all of them, but many of them together, put them on a spreadsheet, and I just started calling them. And so there were many of them in there, and many of them were very interested in the property. And what I liked about your company, and what really made it rise to the top, was um, you stayed on it, first of all, and you were everything you said you would do, you did. And we so we let me back up. Sorry about that.
It's
Do we want
okay.
to start that over?
No, you're good. Just is
Okay.
so
Right.
you got the postcards.
Yeah.
You were able to talk to
Yeah.
different companies and ultimately you have a decision because we all kind of look the same on a postcard, right? Hey, I want to buy your house. So what was the decision making process like when you decided to start calling people? Did people sound the same, or was everyone a little bit different? Because in everyone's eyes, all cash buyers are the same, right? We all just
Yeah.
here's a cash offer and that's it, right? So what would you say kind of differentiated maybe our company from the other guys?
Well, like I said, we had a spreadsheet, and put that together. And when I started calling around, I talked to you guys at your company. Um, and what made you rise to the top, I think, was that you got back with us. You were on it all the time. Whatever you said you do, you did. And But what I really liked, still just talking to somebody over the phone is one thing, but then we met in person, and that made a big difference. And you saw the property, and when you saw the property and could appreciate it,
Yeah.
that made a huge difference because others are just they don't know what they're getting, and so
Right.
they don't want to overpay, and so they're going their prices are low, a lot lower, or lowballing us because they don't really know, and I understand that because
Sure.
they don't know what they're getting.
Yeah.
And so, but the fact that you came out pretty quickly, looked at the property, saw it, and then you said, yes, we're interested in this property and this is what we'll pay. And I thought, okay, these guys are serious. And that face-to-face meeting was very important. And then when David came out and said, yep, this is a great property, this is a done deal. So I felt very confident that this is going to go forward, and went forward quickly at that point because I had others that said, well, we'll give you this price. It was even a little bit higher, and they said, not a lot higher, but a little bit, and they said, but we want to hold it for 30 days, tie it up. And I didn't know if they were going to be wholesalers and trying to sell it to
Right.
somebody else, and then who knows what was going to happen with that property. And I just thought I don't want to play around for 30 days and then they decide to, skip out for whatever
Yeah.
reason, which they can in in the
They can.
contract. And I just don't want to, I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah.
And so even though that price is a little bit higher, I didn't want to deal with that. And with your company, I knew that this is going to happen fast, close fast. You meant business, and boom, it was done. When we signed the contract within that week, we were going to close in 10 days. It took a little longer because of the title company, but it closed. Had nothing to do with your company, but it closed
Yeah.
very
What
quickly.
was 2 weeks or something like that for
Yeah, it was
you know.
about a little over 2 weeks,
Yeah.
so that was great, and cash offer, and yeah, it was a good deal. So it was a great experience.
It's funny how, a lot of times sellers think that it's only about the price, right? But then once you actually start to see, you're like, well, the price may be higher, but the terms are so one-sided to the buyer that they can say, I'll close in 30 days, but on day 29, if they want to back completely out, they get their earnest money deposit back, and then you're the one left holding the bag. So, we understand that sometimes it's price and terms, which is important. And a lot of times we're not the highest price, but we typically like to give terms that show that we're the real deal. So, Jay, any parting words before we hop off here?
Yeah, just want to say we got a fair price. It was a great process. I would do it again all over. And in fact, I recommended my brother to your company, and he's now in the process. As he was looking to sell a property too, and has a contract with you guys, and he's looking to sell his property because he was so impressed with what the process that we went through. So great job. Kudos to you guys, and I hope you're successful because I believe in you.
No better compliment than a referral to your brother, right?
Yes. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Jay,
Yeah.
listen, man, it was an absolute pleasure. I enjoyed it from start to finish, all the way from the trip from Montana down here, talking on the way to this point right here. So thank you so much, my friend, and we wish you the best in your newest endeavors. Okay, thanks.
Thanks, Clark.